Greetings, humans. I'm George, and this is Windmill. Welcome back to the Windmill full of corpses. Right, so this is Aeterna. Перекрёсток. Russian people in the comments tell me if I said that right. It's a Russian folk band, and it was requested by User Somehow. And User Somehow has been around for a very long time. We appreciate you being here. Right. So that's why the thing. It's folk metal. We haven't checked out anything folky in a bit, so should be fun. The reason why I eyed this one is because A, it was commented under Aeterna, which we love, and B, it was commented in a bulk with another request for Grai, which we're never going to do because we know the band, and we know it's cool. So associating it to those two bands, I thought, should be interesting. Yes, but we know nothing about the band, so if it's very bad, we're going to tell you that it's very bad, but we hope that it's actually not very bad. It would be pretty funny if it were very bad. It would be, yes, but we hope it's not. Are you ready? No. Oh, you just show up? He did a reverse Yoda. Reverse Yoda. Yeah, because Yoda disappears and he appeared. They look so Russian. This is not very bad.
Вдали меркнет свет, перекрёсток стих. Едва меркнет свет, он слышит их. Скользят тени длинные
No, they did a Yoda.
No, they do a right way Yoda.
Yes, the video begins with a reverse Yoda and then it ends with a Yoda. I'm sorry. That was so good! Oh! You know, sometimes when we just pick a random name from the request that one person suggested, we think, you know, it might be overkill to just take a request from one person, especially if it's an underground band, especially if it's something nobody's gonna know, and then it's like this.
Elevator, but Russian.
Yeah, it is kind of elevator-core, but I feel like a bit more of the party side elevator, if you will.
Yeah.
Than the really deep, profound side elevator. Dear God, that was very good. I am very happy with that.
It made me happy. It was so bouncy.
Yeah.
It had such a bright chorus. But then between like the second chorus and the third chorus, it had so much heft.
Yes.
Like,
dude, this would kill live. I've been to my fair share of folk metal shows back in the day, and even if it's not music that I'd voluntarily listen to, live it's fire. All the time.
Yeah.
Because it's got the combination of the very high energy, energy of a metalcore show, for example. Yeah. But then you also get this very jumpy sort of vibe that comes from the traditional music dimension, right? And then you put those two together and now you have two different ways to make your crowd bounce.
Yeah. And there, I think the folk element, it's really nice because it also adds a hint of culture in it, which is something that people tend to cluster together. So it also creates this sense of community of we're jamming together.
Yes.
Like most of these more party folky stuff that I've seen it often felt like, not like the band is performing for the crowd, but like the band is having a party with the crowd.
Yeah.
And I've never been the biggest fan of party-like shows, but the reason why that bothered me was usually because they make that more the point than the music. If your music is good, then it's a complete sell for me.
Yes.
Like, this was really good.
And I think what I was thinking through most of the song was, you know, the only thing that this might need to really put the cherry on top of the cake is a bit of a choir effect, right? To really pull it to epic proportions. Now, they did that for like the last 5 seconds at the end, which was like, just so you know, we can. But I'm actually happy that they didn't have anything like orchestras or sampling, which is what you see in a lot of like epic or folk metal, because then it's just raw, just what they're playing.
Yeah, and I think trying to add orchestrals and samples would have pushed it too far.
Yes.
Because the core element on the guitars is already pretty processed. And that clashes with a more raw element of folk, which is nice the way it is. But if you put too much coding around it, I think it takes it too far. It still needs that raw element to come across. So the fact that the wind instruments are so singled out when they start playing, that like, takes back the artificial sense of it.
Same for the vocals.
Yeah.
Like the vocals are very singled out in the mix, and then the folk instruments are very singled out in the mix when they start, and the rest kind of becomes backing. And then when you come to a chunky bit, all the riffing stuff comes back forward. So they alternate that very well. I don't know if that's something they just did in the mix, or if the riff part just comes forward when the rest shuts up.
Yeah, it's like, you know when a band has its stage choreography, so like some people come to the front and then the vocalist moves to the back or something, and the vocalist moves to the front and like the instruments move to the back. They do the same, but in mixing. They don't have to do it on stage. They don't have to show it to you because you hear it.
And you totally, when the song starts, you totally don't expect it to evolve into what it evolves.
Yeah, like it felt like it was just gonna be this groovy partylicious thing.
Yeah, well, yeah, it, like the beat at the beginning almost felt like a beat, beat like you would have almost in a hip hop song. Almost.
Yeah.
It had that very catchy rhythm to it, and you could totally see that just evolving into a generic metalcore thing. But then they bring the folk stuff in and it contrasts. And then they just kind of interplay with them, sort of leveling up both the metal and the folk as they go along. With the vocal melodies, then with a flute. I think that's a flute or a whistle.
I think it was a flute and then bagpipes.
Just call me uneducated in the comments. And then the bagpipes too. So there's just, they space them out. They don't just throw the whole thing and the kitchen sink at you at once.
The whole thing and the kitchen sink.
So it's just surprises on top of surprises.
And then we get to the core religious belief that every metalhead should have. If you add a blast beat to a song, it gets better. And it did.
Wow. Who are you people?
I'm happy with this.
I'm very happy with this. This was very good.
Are we done here?
No.
So if you enjoyed this reaction, we'd really appreciate the likes and shares. And if you want to see more, don't forget to subscribe with bells on.
Thank you very much for stopping by. We hope you enjoy your stay, and we'd love to see you back at the Windmill very soon.
I almost believed you there for a second. Corpse is out.